The federal criminal investigation into the former President of the United States, Donald Trump's potential mishandling of classified documents escalated last week with the former president's indictment. Now, Trump, the frontrunner for the Republican nomination in the 2024 presidential elections, is scheduled to be in a Miami federal courthouse today for an initial appearance in the case. Accused of unlawfully keeping United States national security documents and lying to officials who tried to recover them, Trump has proclaimed his innocence and vowed to continue his campaign to regain the presidency in the 2024 elections. Now, Trump, who turns 77 on Wednesday, touched down in Miami in a private jet with his name emblazoned on the side. Supporters gathered outside of a nearby golf club that he owns, where he was due to stay the night.
In our city, we obviously believe in the Constitution and believe that people should have the right to express themselves. But we also believe in law and order. And we know that, and we hope that tomorrow will be peaceful. We encourage people to be peaceful in them demonstrating how they feel. And we're going to have the adequate forces necessary to ensure that. There may be, depending on the crowd size, some road closures. So people who live in the downtown area should expect additional traffic and should prepare for that. Many kinds of protests that are very, very large will have the right action plan. I think it's safe to say we're working with partners, our law enforcement partners at all levels, to make sure that we're communicating, to make sure that we're prepared, to make sure we're sharing information, and ultimately to ensure that tomorrow goes off without any hitch. And so we wanted to ensure the public that we are ready.
The moment the announcement was made, we have been planning and preparing to ensure that the city of Miami is safe and secure. I can assure all our residents, our stakeholders, and the visitors that are in the city at this time that we are working very closely with our federal, state, and local partners to make sure that we have a comprehensive approach, right, that is going to ensure that we maintain not only peace and order, like the mayor said, but that everyone has the right to express themselves and the First Amendment right.
We have CNN News 18 Sanjay Suri joining us live to get us more details when it comes to the Trump indictment. Remember, he is going to be appearing in a Miami federal court. Sanjay Suri, hello. So do you think it's likely that we're going to be seeing another arrest?
Well, most certainly there will be another arrest. It will not be a physical arrest. It will be a paper arrest. The very procedure of him being presented in court will mark an arrest. We did not see any handcuffing when he was presented in court in New York earlier this year, or even any mugshot being taken. That will not be considered necessary even now, most certainly, but he is expected to be fingerprinted as part of the formality of the arrest process, and after that process is completed, he will be presented in court and arraigned, which is to say that the prosecution will read out the charges, read out the indictment, to which almost certainly Trump will plead not guilty. The question is whether the judge is going to set a trial date, because two streams of time are converging rather potently. On the one hand, the political line and the political progress towards the election and the nomination ahead of that, and also then this legal process against Trump in New York and now at the federal court in Miami.
What do we know about what Trump's legal defense is likely to be? Because he's continuously proclaimed that he's innocent.
Well, what at the moment we are hearing from on the Trump side is proclamations and criticism and abuse even of the FBI, of President Biden, and of the whole judicial process, which he says has been weaponized, a phrase that he has been using repeatedly. But he's strong on rhetoric and a little low on substance. It has not been spelled out exactly what the defense will be, and it is not very convincing if you are looking at the Trump's defense to see that two of his key lawyers quit a day before the process was initiated. And this is now going to lead to questions what his defense will be, in line with the question you raised. He will have a new legal team in place. they will have to present a defense. On earlier occasions, the defense we believe that Trump is sought to have offered is that, well, on the one hand, he tried to declassify these documents before they could be transported. That will have to be judged against evidence, whether indeed they were, and available evidence suggests that they were not. It is the National Archives that saw that these critical documents were missing, which is when it contacted the FBI, which then raided Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago last year. So the Trump defense is so far, at least publicly, more stronger on rhetoric than on specific legal arguments.
Absolutely. Now, how much trouble could this actually pose ahead of the 2024 U.S. presidential elections? Will this pose troublesome for Trump's official nomination by Republicans as the contender for the race against Biden?
Well, that is a question that is being debated very, very strongly within the Republican Party, certainly among the Republican hopefuls. They are in a bit of a conundrum. This is quite a turbulent period for the party. This will be the prime question for the party on nomination of Trump. Trump, as it stands, is the front runner, and that is a position that appears a bit brittle, a little fragile, and this position has been established ahead of these latest revelations. No doubt Republican Party voters and members would have seen footage presented by the prosecution of stacks of classified documents lying in Trump's home, and there will be questions asked whether they will want to nominate someone for president. And President, let's not forget, is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the United States, who is alleged to have seriously compromised the security and the defense of the United States. So there's going to be a lot of turbulence, a lot of churning. People will ask themselves again whether they want to keep Trump as the front runner, given the record and given what is surfacing now through these allegations.